heavily indebted nations, which is why its interest rates have returned to zero. The Swiss National Bank's decision to cut its policy rate to 0% on June 19, 2025, marks a pivotal shift in monetary policy, with profound implications for global markets. This move, the sixth consecutive rate reduction since 2024, aims to counter deflationary pressures and weaken the Swiss franc, which had appreciated over 10% against the US dollar year to date. Furthermore, Hunt analyzes the gold to franc chart, calling it a bullish long-term structure despite the current sideways movement. He views recent price action as progress decay, where time elapses without much upward movement, but anticipates another leg higher soon. Before we dive into Francis Hunt's sharp insights from his latest interview, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a moment when truth meets the market. Let's get into it.
What we're actually getting is a polarization of the bad countries, the over-indebted countries, and the semi-serious ones. Now, there's no nation that is a sound money nation, but Switzerland inherently is certainly a lot less bad than Europe, UK, and definitely America as well. And what we're actually seeing is there's a flight to quality. And we had the debt collapse that we called in September 20. You know that now, I keep repeating it, but you had that come down for the better part of 2.5 years. And you've now had a sustained period of dollar weakness where there might be certainly a rally of some form possible. But the other nations like Switzerland, which is semi-serious, we've seen flood of currency into gold. We've seen a flood of currency into the relatively cheap valuations of platinum and silver, although it's not turned in yet to the full-blown run that I think it will. And we're seeing the currency of the Swiss franc because people still need money and they have a choice. High net worth people, treasuries can still choose where to put their currency. And at the moment, it's my express opinion that the West is putting their money in the Swiss franc and potentially even part of the East. And that is why, one of the reasons why on a weak economy, Switzerland cut. But the difference between Switzerland cutting and everyone else that cut last week is that Switzerland cut to zero. And that's why Zero Hedge came up with their NERP, their ZERP, let me just say, getting my Z's and my N's confused here. The zero interest rate policy is back, coming to a central bank near you. Wrong. It's back for Switzerland because there is a tsunami of money, liquidity, trying to find safe haven fiat, a safe haven fiat to sit in, or an asset that isn't going to be destroyed by the coming debt-based collapse. And that's led to the runs in golds, precious metals, even softs, cocoa and coffee. We've covered those a bit as well, and the Swiss franc. And that's led to the Swiss franc, despite a potential fundamental such as an expected rate cut taking place, we went long in the beginning of June, the 5th and 6th of June, to make hay during this period. And it's been very beneficial. What goes for Switzerland is because as a risk, underwriting risk, perceived risk of reneging on its debt, it is seemed far safer than the other spendthrift nations. That is why you're getting lower rates in Switzerland right the way back down to zero. And, by the way, if it becomes too strong, the franc, it wouldn't shock me that they do go to NERP, minus 0.25, maybe minus 0.5, and actually chew your balance away to stop a financial tsunami of money flooding into the franc and making the franc too strong, killing the Swiss export markets to other nations with weaker currencies. And that is when everybody goes, gold is bad, it pays no yield. That's when not having a certain benefit actually becomes a feature, because gold will never have a negative interest rate that it pays you. And I'm predicting on this channel right here today that the Swiss franc, due to money chasing quality, relative quality, a fiat is not gold in any sense, but relative quality is going to lead to the potential for negative interest rates, particularly on foreign held deposits in the Swiss nation. So watch out for that prediction, see if it comes around. And then owning gold, doesn't matter where, which doesn't charge you a negative interest rate will actually look like a bargain, and it will outperform the Swiss franc. So let's just test a little bit of that and bring up XAU versus the Swiss franc, because we're throwing a few things at you here and we're making you think cross-purpose, cross-currency, and now we're going to throw the gold at you. Now, gold's a little bit slow at the moment. It's not ripping anywhere, but this is how it's done on the long term. This is where you are. We're on the daily. This is how it's performed. If you have a look at it, by the way, we had two big levels here. A little bit of a grind line here. There's the possibility of a small sell-off, or at least a bit of squaring up for a period now. It's close to highs. You had a beautiful continuation here. You all saw that one. It's not dissimilar to the dollar, just there's more upside in the franc that's made it slightly less of a parabola. A big cluster of targets over here. That's why you got a bit choppy and you've been a little bit of churn post making massive targets. But you cannot argue with the fact that this is an upside-based chart. There's those two technical structures, how they came to have targets in that area. And you can have a little bit of what I call progress decay. In other words, you're not going up, you're either going sideways or a little bit down, and time is elapsing. It's a decay process without necessarily making big green. Remember, the surges tend to come in quite short time frames. You build up and then you run. You've had a sustained period of run now for quite a while. You built up from that point till you triggered there. There was nothing much going on. There was ups and downs and ups and downs. And in fairness to this further period over here, there was an immense amount of ups and downs for an extended period. Time-wise, you would categorize that as progress decay. In fact, that was a full pullback. Many people refer to it as a bear market. I don't actually agree. A full-blown bear market. There was a head and shoulders. You can see it from here. You can see your little right shoulder there, your bigger left, and your head over there right into the high. But the point being, you're in a macro bull for gold since way before, right down to the 250 mark. So if I pull this a little bit more through, we only got from 2007, so that's why we don't have enough history. But you know it from the dollar, that right down to 99, 2000, 2001, gold was probably at its most unappreciated there. So having run two macro targets in terms of the natural geometry, you could churn a little bit against the franc. That tells me the franc might be pretty strong during that period, because people need not only a reserve asset, gold, but they also need a transactional fiat for everyday living and expenditure. And for those of you that don't have a multi-currency account, we are excellent services. So remember, we build you wealth, we preserve and protect your wealth, and we get you optionality. Now, we have methodology and a number of options inside our community that is available to them that allows you to have foreign currency. So it's almost like you can choose to be sitting in francs for money that you need medium term for future expenditure that you don't want to tie up in gold, but you want to have not lose money and not lose buying power on the same scale that a dollar might in a contagion event, that a euro might if the dollar starts going up and the euro weakens, or in any other sense. So having a multi-currency based account could be very useful, and the Swiss franc franc could be a good hold. And that's what I would say. Maybe a little bit of churn winding up, but we will go again and we will go higher in gold against the Swiss franc and every other fiat currency as well.
In the interview, Francis Hunt explains that recent geopolitical tensions triggered a short-lived spike in energy markets, which quickly reversed, highlighting the danger of overreacting to war news. Hunt isn't expecting a full-scale nuclear war, but rather a drawn-out, chaotic ceasefire. The American economy faces the unwelcome prospect of reignited inflation after the United States launched strikes on 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. It's unclear if any major spike in oil prices will be sustained for a long period. Oil prices have risen about 10% since Israel's surprise attack on June 13th, and then fell on Friday after U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 2-week deadline on whether to strike Iran. One shouldn't necessarily assume that just because the price of oil goes up, it's going to stay there. It doesn't, said Joe Brusuelas, chief economist for the accounting firm RSM. Due to the growing global financial strain, Francis Hunt flags Japan's yen carry trade as a looming risk that could unravel with force. He foresees turbulent markets ahead and underscores the strategic importance of moving into safe haven assets like the Swiss franc.
Escape the tax maze with Moomoo. Set up your RRSP TFSA in just clicks. Why Moomoo? Because we understand the complex tools and pain of high fees. We flash U.S. stock fees by up to 90% lower. Harness the power of over 4,000 analyst ratings and invest with our auto buy. Need help? Our 24/7 support has got your back. Fast setup, zero fuss. Start now and get up to $4,600 in rewards with your new account. Moomoo, your future simplified.
Precious metals. Let's get back to the interview.
For those that are overzealous, the energies on account of war, it was a classic case of sell the spike high after the open. Let's just reduce some of that noise there a little bit and get it back down to a shorter time frame. You can see what transpired. We had a big red candle today. Let's take it to the 2-hour. You can see how you gapped open and you traded all the way down. So the Swiss franc also had a gap, maybe not as big, 73 to 76, $3. What percent is that? $3 on 73, probably around 4%, but you've given it all back. So trading for World War III. I'm not in the World War III camp, by the way. I'm not in the major nuclear conflict camp. I'm in the camp that they're going to throw stones at each other for a while until they kind of get a bit exhausted from it, and then they have a messy, okay, we'll cease.
Fuck off!
I don't see them loving each other. I don't see peace being made. I see a disorderly cessation for a while until more global angst, warfare and warmongery brought to you by the hyenas of society end up coming again. But as you can see, far better to have been in the Swiss franc from the previous week, captured the run-up and be making new highs. Yes, there's been a small pullback by the end of the day, but you are substantially up. Then, for example, trading long the oil market. There was your gap, and you can see that you've held on to most of what happened after the gap up. Small dot back, beautiful candles all the way up, and your first rejection after running almost the 181. Okay, so that's your update on the Swiss franc, Japanese yen. A little bit of story time with Uncle Frank as to why the yen would probably be weaker. For the time frame under review, larger time frame, actually the yen could become a real problem and we could go into carry trade. So again, go and look at that USD JPY chart. Rally for a bit, give us our M head with the 2 shoulders of moderate symmetry, and we could be in for a nasty reversal. That could be real contagion. That could affect risk on, that could affect crypto, equities, and a lot of other things if it starts to unwind. So the money would have to come out of the casino in America from the money production warehouse, the cheap money production warehouse in Japan. So there's like a conveyor belt going between them. Here's cheap money. Here's the casino. Here's some more cheap money. Go to the casino. Make yield. Make free yield.
Right now, on top.
HOA fees, what were they when you moved in?
$400 a month.
And what are they now?
$2,081.
Grasp of 3-inch maximum. That's a violation.
I am currently getting sued by my HOA.
Okay, so today I thought it'd be interesting to go over another aspect of the real estate market that has become an ever-increasing problem. That is living in an HOA. Insane price increases, ridiculous rules, and Karens that live in the neighborhood that seem to want to do nothing else but make other people's lives miserable. We have a lot of different examples to go over today, along with some of your comments from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. Well, let's start off with one of the worst examples of these price hikes.
And owns a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo here at the Winter Park Woods. She says since buying the unit in 2022, she's put a lot of work into the space.
Renovated it, gutted both bathrooms, gutted the kitchen, repainted everything, redid all the trim, the doors, everything.
During that time, she says their HOA fees have skyrocketed. In the meantime, they haven't seen any significant improvements around the property.
The HOA fees, what were they when you moved in?
$400 a month.
And what are they now?
$2,081 going into 2025.
Alexander Austriaco is a retiree who also lives at the complex. He's seen similar increases and says he may have to go back to work to cover the costs.
In the 2 years, I haven't been working in IT, so that's sometimes they don't like that.
Insurance expert Carl Sussman says the steep increases mainly come from new state regulations in the wake of the Surfside building collapse. HOAs must now keep much more money on hand to cover infrastructure improvements and repairs.
Okay, so there's a couple things I want to go over from that clip. First off, I think $400 a month is already insane compared to, of course, $2,000. But as we're going to see through this video, that's a lot more common than I thought. And the other supposed main reason why it jumped 5 times the price is to keep more cash on hand for infrastructure issues. Because clearly it didn't look like the HOA was updating any of the cosmetics. But talking about infrastructure, to me, that sounds like these buildings are not that safe to live in. Only now, after another apartment building collapsed and new regulations forced these people to have a lot more cash on hand for repairs. That just seems like a massive red flag to me, but we can look at some of the comments. An audit needs to be done. $2,000 HOA is a house mortgage. Yeah, just take that hit and leave. There's no way I'm paying that. This made me not buy a condo. They won't even be able to sell their property with costs that high, which is one of the problems from the second comment saying just move because $2,000 a month is a mortgage. Who's going to come in and purchase that condo? Happens
happening all over South Florida, and the condos are just sitting on the market. For an HOA that high, there needs to be beautiful grounds, updated gym, community room, and a gate with a guard. And you saw the B-roll shots from the news station. It did not look that nice. This happened at my husband's old condo, immediately sold it. At least they were able to sell. Another person that's crazy called for an audit, and we have a similar example from one of you guys. My payment went from $750 to $1,000 in 3 years, and my HOA went from $539 to $1,000. Biggest regret is buying a condo. I'd rather be a renter. And I don't live in a high cost of living area. I live in Kentucky. Because many of these examples are around Florida, there are so many of these types of buildings. With all the retirement communities they have and the storms that have been hitting recently, many people can't afford to live there anymore. But this comment's from Kentucky.
My HOA now is $708 a month. We got a special assessment, so it's $708 for the next 4 months, and then it'll go back down to $603 a month. Two, the pool is closed. Apparently, Miami-Dade closed it down because they said it was unsafe. Three, I'm hearing that 2 people have tripped.
Oh, okay, so not tonight. Maybe I could go get a Caesar then?
Yeah, you can go if you want. Yeah, that's why, like, I don't have a lot of free nights, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, well, that was a bad time yesterday. I went to bed at 4, and, like, I think you were there, like, an hour later.
Yeah, I was. At 5. I was there when I said I would be.
Yeah, I know, but I had to go to bed at 4.
I know. You just gotta, you get on a better sleep schedule, like, where you're up during the day. We'll be able to hang out.
Yo dog.
Yeah,
What's
but
cooking?
Justin Bieber's prime was like 13 years old.
Yeah, I know.
What?
You'll have to Google it. But yeah, it's just too early. Like, you might find a breakfast place.
I know, that's why I don't even like the breakfast places, because like it's like I got eggs and I got hamburgers here and stuff too, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe I should cook up the hamburger.
Yeah, like if you're not gonna find much but breakfast food
People
right now.
people don't like drinking alcohol in the morning.
No, like like I don't even think some of those pubs and stuff will be open till at least like 11, 12, like lunchtime.
But there's plenty of alcoholics who probably want to drink in the morning.
Yep, they're not. They don't. Most part, they don't go out. If you're an alcoholic, you sit at home drinking beer alone, or I don't know, whatever, scotch or something.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I know. That's why being an alcoholic is depressing. Yeah, I
Alcohol
will.
harem be brother.
So I'm going. I have to go to my office. Like, I actually gotta hurry because I'm supposed to be in my office in an
Harem
hour,
me
and I just
brother.
woke up, so I'm like super running late. Um, and then I have a client booked right after that. So I'll call you though at some point. If you need anything, text me, okay?
Okay, you don't think you can make it today though?
No, I doubt it because I have to pick the kids. Like, I work, and then I have to pick the kids up from school right from work.
Yeah. So it's 7 a.m. Most of those places don't open till 11. Hey.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I could go.
Yeah.
I'll check when that cheeseburger place is, the cheese infused place is, because that burger was really good, and I don't know when it opens. I could go for another one of those today.
Yeah, you can walk down there. Yeah. Yeah, just to get out or whatever. But yeah,
What's it called again? The fancy induced burger? What was that place called? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should have a. Well, you would know. Yeah, I think you have a picture of it or something.
Yeah, the fancy induced burger. Oh, it closes at 1 a.m. It's open right now. So
Yeah, it's probably like a late night.
yeah, they're open almost. They're almost 24 hours. They close at 1 a.m. I don't know when they open, but it says open right now. Oh, it's 7 a.m. Yeah, they just opened like 11 minutes ago. So they close at 1 a.m., open at 7. So they're only closed for 6 hours.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty late to be open.
Yeah, now I know why that girl was so bitchy when I went in there that that time. Probably.
Yeah, she's been working since 7 a.m.
Yeah. I guess I'll go there. I don't think it's too expensive. Like 20 should be good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I probably won't see you today.
If I die young, carry me alone, better lay me down in a bed of roses. And on rich Snow biome is the best? What are you talking about? Snow biome is the worst. The other ones are so much better. Frick you, you frickin' bums. Y'all are some bums. I miss the brains down in Africa. Shut up, Aslan. What are you doing? Aslan. You don't run the game. I run the game. Oh shit, man. Is that stuff even edible? Oh fuck. Can't believe I did that. Can't believe it. You fucking kidding me? No wonder I went to peaceful mode. Sick of this shit. Blow your ass up, you fucking bitch. Fuck you. Fucking sick of my fuck. It's fucking done at this game. Oh my god. It really just threw it out of me. Like, I play this game. I play to have fun. I don't play to get fucked. You wanna fuck me? You wanna fuck me? Why do you wanna fuck me? What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you fucking stupid? Fuck you. I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you so much. So much.
Yo sup. Am back.